Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Midwest Market Solutions Insider Comments. It is Monday morning, April the 3rd. Thanks for joining us here. Hope you had a great weekend. Forecast for the Plains and Midwest. Going to give us some ideas of planting delays, as it's a lot of rain in the forecast. Winter wheat could bounce here, as we might talk about too heavily saturated soils. The upper Midwest, we've been talking about possible planting delays north of Highway 20. We're still several weeks away from any significant delays, but the forecasts are wet through at least April the 12th or so. And then when you take into account time for the soils to dry out, we are looking at possibility of delays. We had kind of a bullish day in winter wheat and corn on Friday as we posted outside day higher, and we are following through overnight on that news. Now, we correctly suspected going into the report that the USDA would find more soybean acres and less corn acres than what the trader expected. It's very hard to outguess these USDA numbers, but our research and analysis suggested that would be the case, and it was, in fact, as we saw more soybean acres, a record large amount, 89.5 million, and soybean acres at 90 million. So we only have a difference of about 500,000 acres, and we could see that switch around a little bit more if we get some sort of planting delays this spring. We could see additional acres seeded to soybeans and some taken out of corn, and I think that USDA number on spring wheat is a little bit high. I don't look for that many spring wheat acres to be seeded. I think it's going to be significantly less than that. And Minneapolis wheat had a bearish day on Friday and is really the only market that's lower in the overnight trade, as we are just fractionally lower there. Quarterly stocks, not a big surprise, but it was more than traded expected, and that was a little negative from a standpoint of fundamentals. We'll see that reflect in the April supply and demand report. Those numbers will show up in the ending stocks and keep our levels burdensome. But right now, the trade focus is going to shift towards weather and planting conditions and the growing season. Now, the Commitment Traders report has turned bullish for corn, soybeans, and wheat, which is what we would normally expect going into the growing season. That gives us the opportunity to have a huge and significant rally. So now is not the time to turn bearish, but it's not a good timing indicator either. We may languish around these areas, so these lows here in the soybean market for quite some time until weather problems ignite a rally. But once it does, that rally should be fairly significant. The Commitment Traders, as I said, is bullish, but there isn't a lot of other news for soybeans to be bullish about. But the one thing I did hear from a lot of CTA-type clients is they are looking at Friday's news as kind of being the last bearish news for a while. Now we turn our attention to planting and weather, and they wanted to use weakness after Friday's report to get long for the growing season. We see that's what the commercials did as well. In the livestock trade, cattle futures did not have a bad day on Friday, kind of closed off well off their lows. Some technical support had held. Cattle weights are sharply down. That is a positive feature for this cattle market, as we are very current with our marketings at this time. So no reason not to be current. The cash markets, or the futures anyway, offering much better prices than what they say you'll have in 2 or 3 months down the road. So absolutely no reason to back up any marketings. Go ahead and make those cash sales right away, especially if we get some decent money. $2-3 lower last week in the South, and 5 to 9 lower in the North trade. There's a lot of people talking tops in the boxes and a top in the cash, but my opinion still doesn't pay to be hedged on the board. If you want to do some sort of protection, you got to do puts here, maybe a put call window, especially on some of those deferred contracts. Hope you have a great day. No private export sale announcements this morning, so we're left to trade off of old news and technicals. Have a great day. Good luck. We'll talk to you soon. This has been Brian Hoops.